What's up, guys? It is movie talk time. I am Joe Zapata, and today's show is brought to you by Ace Sunglasses. Go to acesunglasses.com/AU and get 30% off selected brands. Ace Sunglasses, they are the shades of true champions. There they are, Ace Sunglasses. So we got to get you guys some Ace Sunglasses. I'm going to introduce my team with me this week. We got my man, Dave DC Callari. What's up, Dave?
What's up, Jay-Z? What's going on?
What's going on? Then we got my man, the screenwriter, Rob Alvarenga. How you doing, Rob?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Yeah, just got out of school, right?
Man, yeah. A lot of lecturing, a lot of listening.
Or were you out crime fighting? Because I see a Spider-Man.
No, that's what he wore in gym class.
Oh,
Easy there. Don't give away my secrets, all right?
Oh, guys. All right, so we got a lot to talk about this week. So let's first talk about Naked Gun. Let's talk about Naked Gun.
That's great.
Naked Gun, all right? The trailer dropped this week or last week, I was, and Leslie Nielsen's old, I got to meet Leslie Nielsen in 2007 or 8 at the Chiller, and he was a really nice guy. So now they did a kind of a reboot, I guess, or it's a sequel because it's his son, Frank Drebin Jr.
It's like a reboot sequel type of thing.
Yes, everything. And they did a funny trailer with LJ Simpson a little bit. And from what we saw right now, I thought it looks, typical Naked Gun thing. Dave, what do you think about the Naked Gun trailer?
I liked it, and I'm looking forward to it. I thought it was interesting how many people were talking about he wasn't the right fit, and you needed someone like Will Ferrell to do it. And I'm like, I don't think anybody watched the original ones. Like the beauty of Leslie Nielsen was his ability to just deliver that dialogue straight as an arrow. That's what made it funny. You don't need some comedy guy yucking it up.
No, you don't. I think it's going to be really good. Rob, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I actually I liked it. Surprisingly, I liked it because I think I was more on the side of when I heard that Liam Nielsen is going to be doing this. I was like, okay, he was good in A Million Ways to Die in the West. I like that. So I went there with open mind. When I saw the trailer, I liked it. I really like that it's Frank Jr. because Dave was mentioning about it being a reboot. It is in a way, but it's good that it's like it gives a chance for it to be its own thing, because you're not. They did the tie-ins to everybody's like the son of one of the original cast members, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Once they got to OJ, that kid with that look into the screen, I'm like, this is awesome. But it just gives an opportunity to let explore, I guess, its own style of comedy, and for that, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for that one to drop. That's the Naked Gun. I can't wait for that. I'm gonna be the first one there to see it when it drops. I've always loved those movies. They were pretty funny.
I went back and watched the first one the other day.
Oh, did you?
On Tubi? Yeah, they're hard to find, but you can get them on Tubi. Actually, you can only get the first one on Tubi. The other ones probably have to rent or buy. And there were some legitimate moments that I did still like laughing out loud. I'm like, those are great lines. Those are great scenes.
Yeah, they're really good, man.
And if we can get some Tropic Thunder style irreverence in this, because comedy hasn't been like that for a long time.
I don't know. You think they'll push that? I mean, Tropic Thunder, I enjoy the hell out of that movie, but the humor with that, I don't know. Is it too racy for nowadays? I don't know.
The OJ scene, I think, bodes well.
Yes.
I'm hopeful.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm hopeful too. I'll be there the first one to see it when it drops in the movie theaters. So we'll wait and see. The next thing I want to touch base on is our friend Superman. We got a movie coming out, James Gunn, July 11th. They did a recent clip that came out, extended clip with Crypto, this Fortress of Solitude, which I thought was really cool, how it came up from the ground and everything. There is getting a lot of backlash on the internet because they're saying Superman was whining when the dog was jumping on him and stuff, and whatever. I got to see the whole movie and content to see, how it is. I think that's the whole thing he's going for. James Gunn, very different tone than Man of Steel with Henry Cavill. I'm going to start, Rob, with you. What do you think about that little sneak peek that they dropped?
Well, first I have to address the whole that whiny part that you're probably seeing on the comments on the internet, and I guess people they remember Henry because he's the most recent thing, but I guess you got to forget how Christopher Reeves, like when I immediately think about part 2 when he got his power sapped and he got his butt kicked in that bar, and how he saw his blood, and then when he actually really got hurt, you heard some of those like similar type of cries of pain because he's Superman. He's not used to having pain. So I guess people have short-term memory. They might want to revisit the original Superman movies with that. But overall, I was very impressed. It's clearly sticking close to the source material on All-Star Superman, which is arguably one of the better, if not best, Superman stories out there. So everything I saw in that trailer kind of like just confirms what I was expecting James Gunn to put out there. So I personally thought it was awesome. I'm actually, I'm more of a Marvel guy, but this movie's got me hyped.
Okay, cool. Dave, I know you're a big Superman fan. What did you think of that sneak peek we got clip?
I thought the scene was great. I liked it. I love the way the fortress came out. I think it's really cool to see things happening in the fortress, like the way the logo lights up and it separates, and the robots are there. And there's the one that was like, today's your first day. So clearly, like, the fortress is producing these things. Like, there's technology happening, which is really, really cool. I don't think we've ever gotten a really, really good depiction of what that stuff can be. Like, we got some stuff in Man of Steel and Batman's for Superman, but I just don't know if that really is in line with what Krypton kind of is. And yeah, to Rob's point, like, when he gets hurt, he's not used to it. He doesn't know. Even in the TV show Superman and Lois, as he got older, he was like, is this what it's going to feel? Is this what getting older feels like? So, and plus he had bones broken. Like, we hear very quickly once he gets in the fortress that he's been injured. So it's either something out there that's powerful enough to do that, or there's kryptonite involved. So like, we know that he can be weakened and he can be hurt. So yeah, no one likes to have their bones jarred when they're broken. But I also like what Gunn's doing by not making Superman the impervious steamroller.
Yeah,
like, that's sometimes why he gets boring, because there's no peril for him ever.
Dave, I'm going to ask you, because I've heard people on the internet complain about this too. They were like, oh, they drag him into the Fortress of Solitude and give him more sun when he was outside already in the sun. Again, these are the people that are just picking at it, I think. What did you think? I like that scene. I enjoyed it. I mean,
because they show the fortress rotating to get a better angle, and then they do the lens 1, lens 2 when you're the eye doctor, right? And they just put all the things on. So they try to get him healed faster. Like, that is cool.
Yeah. And then the music hit. It was really cool. I liked that. I thought it was really cool.
Anytime we've seen Superman recharge or get healed, he just kind of sits there and just like closes his eyes and soaks. It's fine, but clearly going through that process, I guess, is physically painful. And the reaction we get is like, okay, I'm here for this. Something you haven't seen before.
Yeah, I agree. That's another thing I would like to point out is it's something that it's kind of more introduced here, but the levels of how much sun he needs to take in, depending on like what kind of damage he's taken on. And even with I believe it was Justice League or Zack Snyder cut, that when Superman came back, he flew out into orbit to get a closer front row seat to the sun to like really load up for the final battle. So it's not like this is something that hasn't been done before. But today's point, it's like it's a little more nuanced. Now we have a little more nuance to Kryptonian physiology, how the sun interacts with his makeup and technology, how to get him to where he needs to be so he can fight.
There's a lot riding on this movie. Obviously, it's going to be starting off the DCU, whatever. But do you think? I don't think it needs to be a $1 billion movie. I don't think it needs to be. Just got to be a really good movie and get enough people there. Dave, do you think it's going to do pretty decent? I think it is. I think
so. I hope it does better than Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly. Minecraft.
I would hope.
I hope.
So it's interesting. I have a client who is a salesman for Sony, and like in terms of keeping the movies in the theaters and whatever.
Yes.
And he said that Warner Brothers didn't really have a strong showing at CinemaCon, which is really just for industry people. So I didn't really read too much, because it's for industry people. But I'm surprised that they didn't have a really strong showing, because I would assume they would try to, or at least really maybe show some more sneak peeks or some more stuff with Superman, because I really feel like a lot is riding on this for them.
There is a lot is, and I think it's going to be good. I trust James Gunn. I think he's going to be really good. He does really well, like with Guardians of Galaxy movies, when he did put everything together. I think we're going to have a good movie. I really do. So we'll wait and see.
People are it's going to be overshadowed by the Snyder fans.
Of course, 100%.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But then we go on the Marvel side. We got the Avengers Doomsday's filming, obviously, and then we had that big release with all the chairs and all that kind of stuff, all that nonsense. However, I noticed there was some significant names missing. And so what I figured, each one of us just get a list of people who you thought important players that were going to missing from each that chair. Now, there may be more coming down the road announced. I don't know. I don't know. But from what we got so far, and I'm going to start with my list here. Obviously, Spider-Man, Tom Holland, I would think he needs to be there. Okay. I thought he should be there. I actually thought Hawkeye, original OG, I thought he was going to be there, especially maybe with Kate Bishop or something, because then why do that? And then I was thinking to myself, what about White Vision? Because he's also someone who's kind of like not really around. I'm going to throw Hulk, obviously, any version, Red Hulk, Bruce Banner, any version, Hulk, someone's being there. He's an OG, right? And then finally, I put in Storm, because with the X-Men characters, I thought Storm was going to be in there. So, Rob, I'm going to go with you, and you're going to tell me a list of people that you notice missing from that list that you want to see in this Avengers movie.
So the first one, I'm not trying to be contrarian, but if for some reason just popped in my head. What about the MCU's Sorcerer Supreme, Wong? Like last time we saw him, he's hanging out with Madison with a Y and two N's, in places you didn't think it would be, and watching TV shows. So you would think like the mystical protector of Earth should be part of this movie. So with Spider-Man, I agree. I mean, that's my guy. But I think I think it's because he has his own movie coming too. So that might be something. There's a reason why he's not there yet.
Okay.
But I mean, outside of that, I mean, I think it's just more like the villains. Like there's probably gonna be somebody that we would presume dead. I don't think I saw Elizabeth Olsen there too, if I'm not mistaken. Scarlet Witch. We have to figure out what's happening with her, and only one of the more powerful beings in the MCU. She's got to be part of this thing somewhere or another. And lastly, Captain Marvel. I mean, are we just done with the character? I mean, what's going on with her?
Yeah, that's a good list. That's a really good list. Dave, what do you think is that of those chairs who's missing that you thought, hey, they should be on that chair?
There was no one I missed that I was like, oh, I wish they were there, because one, I still think we're going to get some surprises. I also think that whoever isn't there will most likely be there for Secret Wars.
Yes.
And the characters that are dead, I kind of want them to stay that way. Like, I'm fine if Elizabeth Olsen doesn't come back. And I read something from her on, I think, Collider a few days ago, saying that she's kind of enjoyed trying to get away. As much as she's enjoyed what she's done with the MCU, she's like, it's not really the stuff I consume. So I don't mind if I'm getting away from that character a little bit. Fine. Awesome.
Yeah, that's fine.
I did hear something that there's a possibility that Spider-Man 4 takes place during Doomsday. That's why might not be there.
Oh, wow.
So Spider-Man's happening here and Doomsday's happening here, and then by the time Secret Wars comes, then he'll be there.
Okay.
But I would like to see something happen. You can't give us White Vision 4 years ago and be like, sorry guys, we're still not doing anything with it.
Legit.
Exactly. Exactly right.
If anyone is going to be a new formidable character, it would definitely be him. I think Kate Bishop should be there, because again, you're going to give us a Hawkeye series, develop her character, and then take her away. Like I'm fine with some characters like Echo going away, or She-Hulk not coming back, even though I liked that show was okay. I also think Captain Marvel should be there. People hate Brie Larson for no reason, but I like the character. I like her portrayal of the character. I like her better than Miss Marvel.
100%. I agree with that. 100%.
And she's powerful. Like, if you really think outside of Thor and Shuri, who's a formidable hero right now?
Yeah, you're right. You're actually right. I don't know if you saw, they also had like a little drop of Wolverine. They dropped something with Wolverine. Hugh Jackman was just breathing, and then they showed his clothes. I don't know if anyone saw that,
I
but
didn't see that.
Marvel dropped something like that. So I'm assuming Hugh Jackman Wolverine will be popping up somewhere in these movies coming up. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But as we now go on to the next one, another Marvel movie, Daredevil Born Again, which I got to tell you, every week the show gets better and better. I don't know which episode is my favorite because they're all been so good. The writing on that show has been absolutely phenomenal. We had our last episode that just dropped. We have one more coming. I thought it was going to be a two-parter, but
I don't know how that's going to wrap up in an hour.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's going to be like an hour and 15.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, for those that know, it ends in a real. He gets shot. Matt gets shot, and this is what its writing is really good for me. When he finds out it was Vanessa, and then Bullseye's going to take the shot at Fisk, he sort of hesitates for a second. Like, should he jump in? Like, should he make the decision to take the shot from himself and protect? As like Bullseye said, heroes save their worst enemy. That's what Bullseye said to him in that meeting, which you can show he did it. And just great writing, great little details. I mean, Rob, I'll start with you. What did you think about that episode that just dropped?
Yeah, this episode blew me away because it was the parts where there was not a lot of dialogue happening that were like, that's when the episode was at its best. Like that, the end in the ball when that Bullseye just escaped. Mm-hmm. And for a while I'm thinking, there was a moment I'm like, it can't be as clear cut as like he's going to go after Fisk. To be honest, I thought he was actually going to shoot Vanessa because Vanessa was the one that hired to kill Foggy. Mm-hmm. So, now that she's, made good with Fisk and, they're on the same page now, they try to kill him by sending him into Gen Pop. Mm-hmm. And she was wearing the red dress. I'm like, mm-hmm. It just seems like it's a little too, nice and tight. But if there's a moment there, I'm like, she just might die. But yeah, I mean, just the tense moments leading up to that, when he takes the shot and he saves Fisk, it just left me just like, wow, like everything, the entire episode set up for that one moment is just beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Yep, that's exactly right. 100%. Dave, what did you think of that episode?
Yeah, I think I said it in our last show. I was a little worried how they're going to tie all these storylines together, and this is how they do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like it's all coming together. So I think this is one of the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of action, almost nothing.
Yeah, not much.
All dialogue, all good setups. Mm-hmm. I do like when they kind of go. One of the themes I've noticed in the season is they show the parallel. So they were showing the conversation between Matt and Heather, and then Vanessa and Fisk. Mm-hmm. Almost like where these, like how their situations are kind of paralleling one another. Correct. And it does make it interesting. Mm-hmm. It makes you almost question, how are they really that different, or are they more similar to each other, to each other?
I was thinking maybe Vanessa even dies because Matt had someone close to him die. Maybe since they're running parallel, maybe Fisk has someone close to him die. I don't, because it was really good.
If that's the case, if that's what happens, someone else is going to bite it because he's going to lose it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're exactly right. 100%.
100%.
Did you think? Now, do you think going forward? I think Fisk is going to be conflicted with himself now that Matt saved him. That if he's going to be in a situation where I think Fisk is going to be like, all right, now we're even. Like maybe something's going to happen to Matt, and he says, you know what, now we're even, and saves him or something.
Is the look he had on his face at the end?
Correct.
I can't tell if he was more surprised at that someone else took the bullet, or that there was a bullet for him. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I think so. Now, I hope I'm going to say this. I'm not a big Bullseye fan. Like, I'm like, his character is okay, but I'm not really. I kind of wanted to see Muse more than actually Bullseye, to be honest with you. To me, because his character Bullseye is like, all right, we've seen enough of him right now. Maybe he can go, but they're bringing him back and I heard he's going to be in season 2 already. That they're filming with him already. what do you see, Rob, going for this last episode? What do you think is going to happen?
So I mean, you kind of threw a monkey wrench with my whole thing about Daredevil versus the cops kind of finale. But the conflict that I think that's gonna happen now is because I think it was funny in that ballroom scene when Matt is dancing with Vanessa and Fisk is like whispering. He's talking to Matt, which I thought was a pretty wild scene at there. He was telling him, "I told you there would be consequences if you came back."
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had his plan set up, what he was going to do to him, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this throws a monkey wrench into Fisk's plan because now this is the guy that saved the mayor. So does that make does that give Matt the cover he needs to do what he has to do to kind of like undo Fisk? I don't know, because it's now he's going to be almost just as untouchable as Fisk is right now. So that's setting up something that I think what's going to happen is that somebody is probably going to die that it's close to one of them. It could be Vanessa, it could be Heather, it could be Matt's girlfriend, or it could be BB Urich. That's the son of, the daughter of the writer of the journalist that Fisk killed in the original series. So I'm expecting, I think one of those three is gonna end up dying in the middle of this like newly established like battleground between Fisk and Matt.
Dave, what do you think is going to happen in this last episode?
Blood.
They're going to have a big fight. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, I think there's the possibility that Fisk is okay with Punisher and Daredevil doing what they need to do to take on Bullseye, because Fisk is going to want to protect himself and Vanessa. So he knows that he's the kind of guy that knows that fight will be better fought with somebody else than him trying to do it. And because I think now he sees Bullseye as an actual threat to himself. Whereas before in the original series, it was nothing because Fisk kind of played all the mind games with him. But now Poindexter is like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I don't care what I got to do to do it.
I'm never big on superheroes revealing their identity, but for some reason I found myself saying, tell her you're Daredevil. Did you feel that way too? I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he would, because like he really like, I feel he used to have a better balance of being Matt and being Daredevil. And like when Foggy knew, or Foggy was just his buddy, so it's like, my friend's gonna go do something. Karen was a little bit more difficult, but it's just getting harder for him to do that now, especially because he's been without Daredevil for so long and just got violently thrown back into it. So he's not capable of finding that deceptive balance anymore.
Wow. I was going to ask both of you guys this question, is that Fisk has certainly been one of my top villains in Marvel. And to be honest with you, he's, I think, probably right below Thanos at this point. What do you guys think? Dave, I'll start with you. What do you think? Because that's how good he is.
So the characters were written well. D'Onofrio gives a great performance, and he's always been a step ahead.
Always.
Like the ways he has gotten beat is because something's happened that he just didn't somehow foresee. Like when he got shot in
Hawkeye.
Well, he got shot by Echo. So I don't think he's ever, because he's always been a loyal person. I don't think he ever sees those types of things coming from people he would expect to be loyal to him. Like Echo, like Bullseye. So he's hard to beat.
He is. Hard to beat. Very good. Rob, what do you think about Fisk being that number 2 villain besides Thanos, I think, in the MCU right now?
It's actually coincidentally, I was just thinking, because I was watching the episode today, and not only can I not see anyone else like playing this character, like Vincent was born to play Fisk. So and even I'm like even looking up like, how tall is this guy? Is he really that tall? Guy's 6'4". I mean, it's like perfect casting for it. And but the character doesn't work without the writing. It's the people who wrote Fisk really understood what this character is all about. I mean, the guy, he's got strength. He's very intimidating, but he beats you with his mind. He beats you with just out, chessing you basically. And that's why to me, he's always been one of those like favorite villains reading comic books, because whenever you knew he was involved with something, uh, the hero was just in for it. Especially Daredevil. Daredevil got his ass kicked so many times by Fisk, and Fisk never let a hand on him. So it's one of those like awesomely written characters that has the best of both worlds. It's got the physical strength, stature, the right actor playing him, and they got the right writers that really understand the source material. I mean, it's perfect.
It is perfect. And call me crazy, but I think Vanessa and Fisk have a great relationship. When he places the gun, he takes her to the thing and says, "Okay, I told you I was going to kill him. Here's the gun. Here's the key. Make the decision." She just takes it and boom, 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 boom. What a great relationship,
It was almost like they renewed their vows.
It was the last bullet that hit him in the head where I actually went like, whoa.
Yeah, that looked personal.
Yeah, exactly. And Dave, what do you think of Tony Soprano Jr.? I think he got pushed to be the deputy, whatever, because I think if anything happens, he's going to be the fall guy.
He's definitely going to be he's going to be the fall guy. I think he's easily manipulated.
Yes,
because he's so enamored to be in that position. And because he feels the way he does about Fisk, he'll take the fall.
Yep.
Like, I think he would keep quiet to be like, all right, if this is what I need to do in order to keep Fisk out of jail or safe, or make sure that the mayorship stays how it is, then I have to do this.
Yeah. He actually said one of the most powerful lines. He said, when Fisk was bringing everyone in the office, he says, people want to be in that room, but people are scared to go in that room. Something like that. The power.
You either want to be in that room or you're shitting your pants when you get called into the room.
Yes, that shows you the power he has and was everything. I want to touch base, Rob, on the swordsman. I don't know what you think about his character in that. I mean, I thought he was actually going to die. I didn't know, because I thought he was going to get beat up by the crew. I don't know. What'd you think?
Telling you that last scene in the ballroom. I mean, I was really trying to think. Okay, someone looks like he's going to die like any second, and he was definitely one of those people. I mean, at first it just seemed like, because there was some people that didn't even want to talk to him.
Yes.
And so I was just thinking like, wait, is this guy being set up? Is this like gonna be an execution in broad daylight kind of deal? So when he was in that room, I had no idea what to expect, but it was pretty wild, because the swordsman even had this look on his face like, oh shit, this guy's got me in so many ways that this guy could he's already ruined me, because now I can't be that vigilante unless I go out and risk everything. This is a New York elite, and now he's realizing that he has a lot to lose, and his fate is not in his hands anymore.
Yep. Dave, I was going to ask you, what do you think about, like I said, the character Fisk and everything? He's, more the powerful he has and everything. Do you think that Vanessa will die with that relationship, but she will get killed in the next episode?
Could they do something like that? Yeah. Will they? I don't think so.
Okay.
But if they do, if that's what happens, then that's probably going to be the main storyline going into season 2. How he somehow gets revenge or retribution, or turns up the heat with the task force or something. I don't think the task force can be pulled apart at the end of the season. They haven't done enough wrong. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think Punisher is going to save Matt from the task force. That's my
probably.
I think that makes sense, because he's got to show up one more time, Punisher. Yeah. Hopefully, because we saw something that happened. So I think he's got to hold up. So I think Punisher is going to save him from the task force, and he was there. Obviously, Vanessa, Matt's girlfriend, he was invited there because they were going to set him up and kill him. That's what I obviously thought. But I think Punisher is going to save him.
Probably.
I don't know. Well, guys,
it know that the swordsman gives me big Will Forte from MacGruber vibes.
That's good.
You're right, though, Dave. He does 100%. 100%.
He's a caricature almost, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How was he in the comics? I don't remember him being a big character in the comics. You guys know?
He's not. He's not. He's like a fourth tier type of guy. He shows up here and there in some comic books, but he's not a major player.
Not a major player. Okay. All right. So if he dies, we really don't really care, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. It was fun. We'll hit it up next week again. All right.
All right, boys.
All right.
See you guys next week for a movie talk. We'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks again.
Right.
You got it.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.